Today I want to talk about a game that I've been playing over the last month called Station to Station, a low-key puzzle game that's sort of been flying under the radar. It's a minimalist puzzle game. If you haven't heard about it, it's all about building efficient transport networks with trains. It's got an amazing voxel style, very beautiful as you can see. Details like seeing animals at the side of the tracks while you're sort of chugging along with your trains. It's very satisfying and it is just a relaxing game to have a cup of tea and just work through the puzzles. Over the last month while I've been playing it, I thought what's a good way I can highlight this game on the channel, bring it to the attention of those who might not have played it, or give some information to those that already have. And I thought why not have a video looking at the different trains that are in the game and what they're actually based on in real life. So grab a drink and let's dive in. Alright, let's kick things off with the freight train Inyo, which is the first train you actually get in the game. This beast is inspired by the Virginia and Truckee Railroad number 22, also known as Inyo. Built back in 1875 by Baldwin Locomotive Works, the Inyo was a versatile 440 American-type steam locomotive. Now in the game it's all about hauling freight, but back in the day, Inyo pulled both passenger and freight trains, weighing in at around 68,000 pounds, with 57-inch driving wheels delivering 11,000 pounds of tractive force. It was a powerhouse. It was fitted with air brakes, and by 1910 it switched to burning oil instead of wood. Inyo retired in 1926. Paramount Pictures snagged it up in 1937, and at this time it got a new coat of paint for its role in motion pictures. Fast forward to 1969, it got to play a part in the Golden Spike Centennial ceremonies, decked out to look like Central Pacific's Jupiter. In the 1970s, it found a home at the Golden Spike National Historic Site. The Inyo made its grand return in 1983 after a full restoration of the steam operation. Today you can catch it chugging along the Nevada State Railroad Museum in Carson City, steaming up and running on select dates, especially every July 4th apparently. It even made a cameo in Las Vegas for the opening of the Palace Station Casino in 1984. The developers of Station to Station have done a beautiful job at capturing this train because it really does look like your traditional American locomotive and really does serve the overall all-rounder locomotive in the game. Next, let's explore the second locomotive you unlock in the game, the heavy freight train. Inspired by DR896024, this three-axle steam locomotive was designed for private and industrial railways. It's a robust powerhouse based on the Prussian-class T3. The Henschel-type Bismarck, developed for private and industrial railways, enhanced the sturdy Prussian T3 design for increased durability and technical prowess. Although the exact number of locomotives built remains unknown, they played a significant role in advancing railway technology. The star of the game, 896024, began its career in 1914 on narrow gauge railways. Over the years it moved through various different narrow gauge railways, finally receiving its current fleet number in 1949. After serving as an industrial locomotive, it retired in 1977, finding a new home at the DDM Museum. Moving on, let's turn our attention to the passenger train in the game Grote. As you venture into sun-scorched sands, you'll unlock the passenger mechanic, introducing a brand new train to the mix with the game. This was a pick by the developers, also known as the Big Green. It is inspired by Grote SS326, which currently resides at a museum near the office of the developers. The Big Green earned its name from its distinctive light green colour and large wheels. Back in the late 19th century, there was demand for faster and stronger locomotives, leading the Dutch State Railway to order 176 of these Big Greens, also known as the NBDS3 engines, ideally suited for express train services. What makes them stand out is the placement of the driver's control panel on the left-hand side of the engine's driver's cab, a unique feature at the time due to the Dutch State Railway being the only railway company in the Netherlands with no signals on the left. After a merger and to cooperate, everything was eventually moved to the right-hand side. The SS-326, which the locomotive in the game is based on, faced damage during World War II, but underwent a restoration in the 1950s to bring it back to its original glory using blueprints and photos. The real-world roots of this locomotive and the links to the developers of the game really bring this out, and it honestly is the one they focus on the most in their marketing, and you can see why. It is a beautiful looking engine, and you can understand why they chose to focus on this, especially when it has connections to how close they are to it with their offices and everything. Now let's explore the fourth locomotive in Station to Station, the luxury passenger train Crampton. A symbol of luxury and speed unlocked in sun-scorched sands, this train offers 50% bonus to players for each passenger train it transports. The locomotive it's based off, Crampton 420, was prominent in the mid to late 1800s across Great Britain, France and Germany. It was a revolutionary design patented by Crampton in 1843, recognised for placing the driving wheel behind the firebox. Crampton's locomotive featured wide steam passages, large heating surfaces, and generous bearing surfaces on the wheels, setting the stage for future designs. In 1845, the Namur and Liège Railway in Belgium ordered 3 locomotives with 7 feet diameter driving wheels crafted by Tulken Ley of Whitehaven. The London and North Western Railway followed suit, adopting the Crampton patent and achieving acclaimed speeds of 79 miles per hour. Crampton's story intertwines with the Lokar site, where the first Crampton locomotive was built. In 1847, Lokar constructed several engines following the Crampton pattern, including the South Eastern Railway and the Maryport and Carlisle Railway. Despite facing challenges on the standard gauge railways, Crampton locomotives found success on the continent, leaving an incredible mark on the standard gauge railway development. A surviving Crampton-type locomotive, built in Germany in 1863 for the Bavarian State Railway, now resides at the DB Museum. The luxury passenger train bends history and elegance into Station to Station, and I'm so happy they included it in the game, as it is a very unique design. Let's dive into the mountain train, the Darjeeling Express. In the game, the eye-catching blue locomotive serves a crucial role navigating hilly terrains with ease and offering a bonus to those challenging uphill journeys. The inspiration behind the Darjeeling Express is the B-class steam locomotive, which has a remarkable history. Introduced in 1889, these locomotives continue to leave their imprint on the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, with 14 of them still working or in repairable condition. These are not just digital renditions, but living engines which are still in use today in India. Wearing their iconic blue livery since the late 1960s, the B-class engines underwent a transition from striking red into blue. Number 32, a 1913 creation by North British, once graced Battersea Loop during the 2006 oil firing trials, functioning with a crew of 5, including a driver, fireman, coal breaker, 2 sandmen. These engines, like number 805, built in 1925, play a pivotal role in the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway. The B-class engines are a testament to the resilience of the engines, with engines fitted with new boilers as recently as 2007. I'm very glad the developers chose to include this engine in the game, mostly because it is still a working engine, and you can still go and see these engines today. They are still working, a working modern steam engine. Next, let's explore the fascinating journey of the mixed train Merddin Emrys. The locomotive, named after the legendary Welsh wizard Merlin, takes the spotlight as the versatile mixed train in the game, adept at carrying both freight and passengers between 2 locations. In reality, Merddin Emrys holds a special place in railway history. It was the inaugural locomotive of the Festiniog Railway Company in 1879 at Boston Lodge. Designed by George Percival Spooner, serving on the Festiniog Railway throughout its entire operational life. Merddin Emrys faced the challenge of being the sole double engine available for service when the railway closed in 1946. The locomotive made a triumphant return in 1961, undergoing various rebuilds, including a notable reboilering in 1970 and a transition to oil burning in 1973. In 1988, a comprehensive rebuild not only ensured the continued service, but bestowed a more heritage-style appearance as part of the Festiniog Railway's fuel diversification. In 2007, Merddin Emrys reverted to coal firing. Named after the legendary Welsh wizard Merddin Emrys, this locomotive not only embodies a piece of railway history, but also cultural connections with the wizard Merlin of Arthurian legend. I myself have actually seen a double fairly when I visited the Festiniog Railway. You can see a video of my trip there on the channel, and they really are a unique looking locomotive, and as a Welshman I am very happy they included this in the game as a bit of representation, if you will. And lastly, let's wrap up our exploration of these different locomotives with the express train, which is the final locomotive you actually unlock in the game. Inspired by the Bristol and Exeter Railway 424T and introduced in Region 5 of the game, the Golden Dunes. This lightning-fast train, reaching nearly 90 miles per hour at full throttle, takes the crown as the speedster of the game, perfect for express services, swiftly transporting passengers between cities, and offers a nice bonus for covering long distances in the game. In the real world, the Bristol and Exeter Railway 424T locomotives, with their distinctive designs by James Pearson, grace the tracks of the mid-19th century. These broad-gauge steam locomotives, featuring single large flangeless driving wheels and two supporting bogies, served from 1853 until the amalgamation of the Bristol and Exeter Railway into the Great Western Railway in 1876. The last of these unique 424Ts was retired from service in 1885. As we conclude our exploration of the steam trains in station to station, it's truly remarkable to witness the great variation these locomotives bring to the game. Hailing from different corners of the world, each train has its own story to tell, some long forgotten and scrapped and haven't graced the tracks for centuries. Others, however, still embark on journeys today, either on heritage steam railways or in static displays in museums. I commend the developer Galaxy Grove for their thoughtful curation, choosing a diverse array of locomotives, each with unique roles in the game. It's a journey not just through gaming excitement and enjoying puzzles, but it's also a nod to the rich history of steam locomotives. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a little different to what I normally do, and it's also the first time I've actually used my voice in a video. If you haven't heard of the game, please do check it out, and if you have, hopefully I've already given you some information on the game, a bit more than you already knew. So yeah, I will be attending Worley National Model Railway Exhibition this weekend, so expect a video on that next. Yes, thank you for watching.